fine taller.
No, it's fine.
It's still, you look like a halo like Tim has sometimes. Raise it, tilt it, tilt it.
It's gonna blind me again.
Who cares? You don't need to see. You just need to tie.
Like that. Okay. That works.
That was nice.
What was?
Wiping your nose on your sleeve.
It's alright. We're alright.
Anybody with you?
Yeah,
Five people?
5 people. One is Tim.
I'm getting on now. Can you turn around, look at the camera?
Yeah.
You know, sit still.
The popper that we're gonna tie. Hey, Mr. Giannino. That's gonna be great.
It was still, my volume on my computer was still on from when we
Alright, cool.
sent Tim a face message or a voice message.
I'm awake this time.
Nor-vise. Tim says that light, that is good for the light. Mike Collier's on. Don Corey says hello. CJ Morgan is the man we sent to your fully dressed feathered game changer.
Hey, Mr. Morgan. Hey, Mr. Severance.
He's been tying that. Oh, look who's on. Keith Beerfield.
Oh, him again.
Mr. Braswell's on.
Hey, Mr. Braswell. Just gonna wait a few more minutes and then we'll tie this one up. I'm back again because Tim O'Neill is unable to tie right now. He fell off of a cooler while snakehead fishing. Hey, what? He said we could.
You were not you.
He fell off of a casting platform.
And this might be the last time you see Braden ever again live.
What? No, maybe. Yep.
I was gonna. Oh, you need to, before you get started tying and talking, you need to remind everybody that if they share tonight's live video, they will be entered for a Nor-vise t-shirt and a fly from you.
Fly from me?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I signed you up for that.
Okay, yeah. If you share tonight's live video, you will be entered to win a Nor-vise t-shirt and a fly tied by me.
Like, share it, like, right now, share it.
Yep, if you share it right now as you're watching.
Braden's on. Mickey.
Hey, Mrs. Davenport. How did I fall off the cooler? I didn't push you. I was in the very back. I don't know how you fell.
The story I heard is Braden pushed him so he could fish more is what I heard.
Yep, that's exactly what happens when you spend too much time on the cooler.
Whew, not that day. There was waters in that cooler. It was hot as Hades on July 4th.
Yep.
All right, we have 78 people, so...
All right, well, cool.
I would remind everybody one more time about sharing it live.
So, tonight, if you share this live, like right now, tonight, as you're watching, you'll be entered to win a Nor-vise t-shirt and a fly tied by me. And, yep.
Tim, what happened was...
What happened was... Explain. You can explain, Mr. Tim. So, this is the fly that we're going to tie tonight. It's just a large predator popper. It's got a 6-aught Gamakatsu SL12S in the back, followed up by a 40mm Flyman big game shank, and then a Rainey's Big Eye popping head. Get that out of the light just a little bit for y'all. Just a large popper. Good thing you got another one.
Might want to tell anybody, ask everybody, whoever's tying live, they want to go ahead and let you know. And if anyone needs you to slow down, let you know.
If anybody is tying live with me tonight, go ahead and let me know. So I'll be able to slow down. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And if you want me to slow down anymore, just let me know.
Tim says Yeti equals 1 elbow and ribs
0
equals 0.
Oh yeah. All right, so
Yeti 1, him none.
This is 100 Denier Semperfli thread. Just starting that behind the eye, getting a good thread base down, because with your bucktail hollow ties, don't really want those sliding around. All right, so just to the bend. And to start off, I'm going to take a decent clump of bucktail and just do a straight tie. This is just going to be a support for the feathers that I'm laying down for the tail and flash. we go. Clean this up a bit.
Speedy Gonzalez, make sure you show everything.
Yep. So, just cutting the bucktail straight off the hide there. Or the tail, I mean. For this tail, I want a good amount of length. Just so I can have it as a support for the feathers that I'm going to be laying over top of it. And the flash. So, I've taken out the smaller hairs in my clump. And then I've cut it straight. And then just going to straighten that out just a little bit more. Alright. And then I'm going to cord this thread up just a little bit. So this is, for reference, I've done a thread base down the whole shank. And right at the point, I've got my thread hanging down. So, what was that? My phone sucks.
I can't read what I'm typing.
Oh no, you gotta like move the screen around and all. For the first few wraps, I'm not wrapping down super tight because I don't want this tail clump to really flare so much. And I'm just gonna wind that around the shank a bit. Then I'll do a few more securing wraps. That's why you have an extra bobbin, but I'm gonna keep this going.
Really?
Yeah.
2 weekends in a row? I think there's something wrong with
I think my bobbins are chipped or cut or something. Brand new scissors. Why are these not cutting this thread?
He's actually awake tonight, too.
Yeah.
Well,
not super tired after.
Why? Yeah, tell everybody what you did.
What happened?
Tell them what you did while you're waiting.
What do you mean?
What you did today.
As I'm fixing this bobbin up, I'm not super tired, unlike last time when I was snakehead fishing. Went snakehead fishing again today and ended up getting a 6-pound bowfin as a bycatch, which was perfectly fine with me. And I would say I got 3 snakeheads. My dad got a couple bass, and my older brother actually got a few of his biggest snakeheads on frog. There we go. So now that I got these wraps secured after spreading this bucktail all the way around, I'm just gonna grab it, pull it back, and use my thumb and just push into it. And that's just gonna kind of soften it up at the base there. And then it lays down just a little bit.
Say hello to your dad.
Hey, Dad. Alright. So, clean that up just a bit. Trim out these butt ends. Hey, Mr. Landry. Alright, so.
What size hook are you using?
This is a 6-aught Gamakatsu SL12S. It's one of their saltwater model hooks. But this is the 6-aught version. I really like the Arex. What? This is the last one. I really like the Arex. What's it called? The blue water and like the 4-aught size for this fly. But I'm actually out of those, I think. Nope, I got them. So now I'm just gonna take a few saddles off of this right now. These are just plain old dyed Chartreuse grizzly saddles. Let's see. For this tail end, I really like the longer ones.
You're at 201, so you might want to just mention again really quickly if I'm sharing the live.
All right.
For anybody new tuning in.
For anybody new tuning in to the live, if you share the live right now, the live video, as you're watching, not after it ends, you'll be entered to win a Nor-vise t-shirt as well as a fly that I tied either tonight or whatever it might be. Alright, so get a couple feathers. Probably gonna do 4, just all the way around this bucktail base. Let's see. ones.
What do you fish this fly for while you're?
For this one, I fished barracuda with it and a bunch of other saltwater species. I've had an amberjack come up and take a peek at it. Almost grabbed it right next to the boat, but I would see no reason why it wouldn't work for large pike or maybe even a muskie. Alright, there we go. Cool. So, got our 4 feathers.
Tim says, or chat.
One of the two.
I'm not really sure, but someone says you can say tell them if they get 100, we get 100 shares tonight, we will give away 2 shirts.
So, according to Tim or Tyler that just said that, if you would get 100 shares on the live tonight, they'll be giving away 2 different shirts. Alright, so I've got this feather laid out. I want it just about as long as I can. I'm just going to use the bucktail as a support for it, so hopefully it won't foul just as much. And just lay it right on the sides, so right there.
David Doak is watching. Say hello to your granddaddy.
Hey, granddaddy.
Oh, that was Tyler.
There we go. Snip that off.
I'm gonna ask
Take
if
another
anybody has a question.
Use the vise. It's locking it in at 90 degrees. Same length as the other one. Strip off this little bit of fluff.
Sven says Braden is the man.
Thank you, Mr. Sven.
Mr.
Sorry. I totally forgot your last name. Sorry.
Are you a little starstruck there that Sven's watching you?
Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright. Lay those long saddles down it. Snip that off. Probably gonna do these other 2 a little bit more on the top.
Keith Weatherby from Apex, North Carolina says, hi, great time. Oh, I was supposed to move to Apex.
Oh, you are? Alright, just a few more. Let's see.
Krista's on. Say hello to your grandmother.
Who?
Krista.
Oh, hey, Krista. Alright. Try not to break this thread again.
Don Good says hello from Matthews. Say hi to Mr. Bartle, your old man tutor.
Oh, hey, Mr. Bartle.
Hi, Patty. Patty Deal from the elementary school is watching.
Then, just all the way down. Again, strip off this little bit of fluff. Then after this last feather, we'll end up throwing in some flash. There we go. Okay.
What's up from Alaska?
Alaska. That's one of the farther ones that we've gotten. There we
It's been a
go.
while since you've been to Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Alright, tie down that last one.
Frank says hello. I don't want to mess his last name up. You can look on your screen. Are you putting the feathers 360 degrees around the hook?
I did one on each side, and then I did one, so I guess you say like 45 degrees on the bottom of like each side just to cover up the belly of it. Then I'm going to lay flash all the way along the top. And then as I continue doing hollow ties on it, I'm going to be adding flash and feathers just to add a little bit more action, movement, everything in between. So this is Hedron's lateral scale. They're I want to say 69th of an inch lateral scale. This is in the opal color. Just going to do...
Thank you, Frank. His last name is Zubel.
Oh, Zubo, okay. I didn't want to mess it up either. 4 to 5 strands of that. I mean, I really, for the flash, I don't really measure it out. I don't think, for every so ties, I'll do like 2 and 4. I'll just snip off a little bit, double whatever. But whatever you cut out, you're going to be doubling it over. So 4 will turn into 8, 2 will turn into 4, and 3 to 6. So this is the Flashabou Mirage. It's just a different flash to mix in with the lateral scale. I'll do 3 strands of this. Lay those together. Lost a couple there. There we go. And then just going to make these uneven so it's got that taper to it. Not that it'll really matter a ton. And then I'm going to double that over my thread like that. And all you do is you hold it. I'll do it again, actually, just to show a better view of it.
And people are tying with you. Okay.
Yep.
Anybody has any questions?
There we go. Broke that thread again.
Braden.
I don't know.
Tim, I believe we're going to need a couple bobbins put in our next order. Okay, let me get back to this since I was sharing that.
Alright, there we go. So what I was talking about with the flash, how I doubled it over. So you're holding your strands of flash like this, so dead center in the middle. Thread's dangling, holding it 50-50. Place it over your thread and pull it back together. Then you just hold it with your one hand, whether you're right hand or left hand or whatever. Hold on the thread. And when I put this flash down, I'm going to do one loose wrap on it. And then I'm going to take my thumb and mash it down just to spread out the flash along the back. That's just so you can get an even amount over the top.
Say hey to Julie from Texas.
Oh, hey, Julie.
Ed is on.
Ed Hayes.
How many other Eds do you know?
Not really. Not many. Alright, just clean this up a little bit, and then I'll hit it with a little bit of super glue.
Hello from Melbourne, Australia.
Just be careful not to get this in your bobbin. It will mess it up entirely.
Do you match the ends/tips of the flash?
I actually ended up pulling them out a little bit just to get a little bit of a taper in them, but honestly, I don't think it really matters. It's just a preference thing. And then I'll take this here. Take a hair clip and just make sure everything's all folded back out of the way. A little bit of super glue on all this thread wraps that I just tied down with the bucktail, the feathers, and the flash. Use the vise to walk the super glue around it. Put that up, and then I'll just give this a second to dry. Just gonna take a little bit. Any questions on that step?
Oh my gosh, somebody said Mr. Ed the Talking Horse. I'm poor Ed. No questions yet. Say hi to Donnie.
Oh, hey, Donnie.
Argentina's watching.
Alright, thread, the glue is all dry. Start my thread up. So.
What are these flies used for attracting? So why don't you take a second?
Yep.
Anybody new, tell them that. And also first mention the sharing of and t-shirts. Sorry.
So anybody new to the live stream right now, if you share the live right now or before it ends, you'll be entered for a Nor-vise t-shirt and a fly that I tied myself. Whether it's this fly here, this one, or entirely other different fly that I've got that I tied or will tie later on. And if we end up getting 100 shares on this Instagram live, Tim or Tyler will end up throwing in another shirt to someone else. So, but this is just a large predator popper that I'm tying up. Bunch of hollow ties in it, bunch of flash, feathers, and a large Rainey's Big Eye popping head. So I've used this for large barracuda in the Keys and while in North Carolina off some wrecks. Yep, I know. And I said it again. I've actually had an amberjack come up and take a peek at it. Almost ate it right next to the boat. I would see no reason why a large pike or a muskie even wouldn't eat this. But just really any large predator species that you want to target on top water that would eat a bait fish or something big and loud.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
So that was, I just did that tying with orange.
Somebody said nice
Just tying
idea.
with now some chartreuse.
Nice idea on the hair clip.
Alright, so take a good amount of hair out of time. Let's see.
Someone asked how long you've been doing this as you're tying your getting your next.
I've been tying since I was, what was it, 8?
8.
Yep, I've been tying since I was 8. I'm actually 14, almost turning 15 September.
If you make it that long.
As my mom says, if I make it that long. But love it. And I don't know if I like fishing or tying better, but I would probably say fishing. But
Right
tying
now,
it,
because it's
for now.
summertime.
Yep. But tying is definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Will that also work when targeting a 235-pound Viking? That would be spin. So I couldn't tell you.
Maybe. It might.
Well, you can send him one and let him try.
Yep. We can test that out. Alright, so when I do this next hollow tie, I'm gonna do this hollow tie. That last tie was just a straight tie. I'm gonna go to just about the midpoint of the tail. So just check that out. Now you see all your buttons that you got. Trim that straight up.
Do you remember Bob and Singer from Texas? I can't remember his first name off the top of my head. He says he bets a big old largemouth down in East Texas would love it.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
What size rod and leader would you recommend throwing these flies?
For popper this size, I would probably throw in minimum a 9 weight, but probably a good mid-size range would be 11, easily a 12 weight, no problem. 10, you'd be good with it. 11 weight, no problem. 12 weight, that's easy. But 9 weight would be pushing it for sure. So just to 3 more shares and 100.
And what leader?
Oh, yep, the leader setup. I was running, I mean, honestly, for the Rexenol and Barracuda, I was running straight 30-pound to I think it was 60-pound straight single strand wire. But that's what I ran for that. If you're going to run fluorocarbon, I would run probably just straight 30, or, I mean, I honestly, for a lot of my freshwater stuff around here, I'll just run straight 20 for, say, snakehead stuff in topwater and largemouth and all. But for the popper, I would just run 40 to 30 or whatever it is, and add your wire if you want.
Chad McAllister said, what about largemouth? So you said yes to that one.
Awesome. Alright, so your hollow tie, just measured up in your hand.
Can't wait to watch the rest. Got.com.
So I've got that much there. That's where I want it to actually start my hollow tie. So I'll grab it at that point, fold it around to my dominant hand, hold it there. Now I'm going to pinch it with my non-dominant hand, cord this thread up just a little bit, and do a few looser wraps on it. When you cord up your thread on it...
Oh, I'm going to beat him.
Who?
Grant Alvis says, can I throw this for a native brookie?
Oh, no problem. I mean, 3-weight glass rod is
the way he fishes,
easy.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, brookie would smash it. I heard they're really good with the large predator poppers during the spawn, actually. I mean, it's pretty good.
Explain your joke with your other Norvise ambassador there.
So Grant Alvis is another Norvise ambassador. We were just joking about the whole brook trout thing, everybody. Just to make sure y'all know.
All right. Then you
don't
hit 100
fish
shares.
for trout during the spawn.
And you hit 100 shares, so we'll be giving away 2
awesome.
T-shirts.
Yep, 100 shares just got hit, so 2 T-shirts will be sent out to 2 random people and flies. So now,
what's your home waters?
My home waters are Virginia, here, the James River, lakes and rivers around us, the Potomac, and the Bull Monkey River.
Before you move any further, because you're now up in the 300s, someone said it'd be a good idea to retell everyone what you're tying and show your end fly, and also, I guess, go ahead and tell again about the sharing, since you can always send another fly.
Alright, cool. So the fly that I'm tying right now is just a large predator popper. Don't know if that's all in frame or the light's messing it up all, but yep, there you go. Just a large predator popper. It's got a 6-aught SL12S Gamakatsu hook in the back. Be using this thing I've used it for barracuda, had an amberjack come up and take a peek at it, but I would see no reason why a pike or a muskie wouldn't come up, take a look at it either. But for the shares, if you share the Facebook Live right now or before it ends tonight, you will be entered in a shirt giveaway, which we were actually going to give away 2 shirts once it hit 100 shares, and that's happening right now. So I don't know if they're going to do 3 or whatever once they hit 300.
You can do 3 flies. I can't speak for Norvise on 3 shirts.
All right.
Did you say your home waters?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to trim this up a bit, and when you trim it, it'll be like a ramp in the back propping up your bucktail after you do your tie downs in front of it. So just trim this up a tad. I did super glue my last tie-in points, but I'm probably not going to do that for this one. Alright, so hollow tie down. All you're going to do now is you're going to take your fingers and just work it back slowly just folding it back. As you do this, they'll just get looser and looser. As you can see, it's super bulky, but you can tame all these hairs no problem after you get all those hairs worked back. There you go. Alright. So, now you're holding all the hairs back in your non-dominant hand, whatever, and it's got like a bullet head on there. And your thread's still back in that hollow tie behind all those hairs. So, hold all this back, pull your thread forward, and wrap in front. Just a few wraps just to get it started. Again, making sure you got all the hairs back. End up taking a hair clip, if I can get all it to stay. Pull back all that hair, and then I'm just going to cord up my thread another time. That's just going to make sure I can build a ramp to hold back all this hair. If you're tying along, you want me to slow down and just elaborate on something, just let me know.
Why don't you ask if anybody is tying along? Let them let you know.
And then tie this down just a little bit. As you're doing your ramp, you're going to want to tie forward a little bit just so your thread isn't going to slip off your mound, per se, and dig into your the right side of your body. So, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's just...
Do you need to zoom it in some?
No, I can see it on the thing.
Chris Daly says, nice looking fly, buddy. He's all the way from Ireland.
Awesome. There we go.
See. Wyatt said he would love to start tying his own flies. Well, we know where he can get advice from.
You get your vise from Nor-vise, or
Let's
pick
see.
one up at a dealer.
Chad McAllister, I want to use it in Lake Guntersville.
Oh, okay.
To catch what?
Largemouth.
Okay.
Yep.
Argentina. Looks great so far. What are you going to use Popperhead for?
The popper head's just going to go on the front end of the fly. There's going to be a 40mm shank that's going to be slid onto.
What are you going to use it to catch it for, maybe?
The fly. Like others have been saying, big bass. Who's that? Oh my god. Like others have said, big bass. I've had barracuda come up to it. I've caught some larger, like sharks and barracuda on it. I've had an amberjack come up, take a look at it. I would see no issue why a big pike or a muskie wouldn't either.
Which part of bucktail are you using?
Alright, give me 1 second.
Okay, well, while you do that.
Alright, there we go. So,
can you see Tim's type right here?
1 second.
For every...
I can't see it.
They will give away another shirt for every 50 shares. So 150 shares, we're giving
Yes,
away
Grant.
300 shirts. 3 shirts. 200 shares, they're going to give away 4 shirts, 255, etc.
300 shirts. Everybody's gonna get a free
I
live.
I've been out on the boat. It was 99 and felt like
I feel you.
109.
I feel you.
You went home early.
I would stay. All right, so now that the hollow tide is finished, yes, Grant, brook trout, most definitely.
He said, which would.
I heard the ones in Labrador like big dry flies, so this would work just well, just fine.
Perfect pattern for Ohio pike.
Awesome.
You've been trying to get up to Ohio now, haven't you?
I mean, oh yes, I have. Oh yeah, upper chop tank, just about everything in there is a predator species, so I would see no issue why why something wouldn't hit this.
He says that's a great idea to Norvise. I have no idea.
Probably the shirts.
What is the thread you're using? What did you decide to use tonight?
The thread I'm using tonight is Semperfli's. Oh, almost out. Yep, Semperfli's 100 Denier Nano Silk. Sorry. I'm a little bit tired too. But it's almost like GSP. I like it a lot. It's super strong. As you can see with the scissors, that sometimes you can barely even cut it. So, just gonna take a few saddles right now.
Tell me that again so I can put in Semperfli what?
Nano Silk.
Nano.
Just gonna do 2 off of this tie. So, let's see.
Do you sell your flies?
I do, yep, on millertimeflies.com, or you can message me.
No, millertime.flies.
Yep, millerflies.com.
Don't even message him. You would go to the flies page, and there is a custom order form.
Just gonna have that laying back on the bucktail at about 45 going out.
Scott Lisa Bonita, Jack Gravel.
I would love to see a big jack eat this thing.
Do you make anything for rainbow trout?
Streamers. I don't tie any nymphs. I just do streamers.
You do small streamers though.
Yep, I'll do small streamers. I mean, just
we've caught rainbow trout on micro game changers.
yeah. They like them, that's for sure. All right, so just pulling off a little bit more fluff on this saddle real quick, and then do another tie off of this. Lock it at 90 degrees with the vise. Then tie this down. Go. Clean that up a bit. Snip off that rest of that saddle. Clean it up. Alright. So, now that we got those saddles tied in, the bucktail is all done with that hollow tie, we're going to take, again, the little bit of lateral scale. This is, I'm going to do...
Alright, hold on. Could you possibly link this? Oh, sorry. I will handle that. Where do you get your feathers from?
Brad Buzzy. You'll have some whiting, and also Jay Stockford. Jay Stockford has a lot. They can't order hairline off other than commercial dealers, Mom.
I'm a smack girl.
What do you say now? Ever throw this in Virginia? Oh, native GTs are.
Don't even.
Yes. Alright, so I've combined a bit of the Flashabou Mirage and the lateral scale all together. Just pull down a little bit of it so it's got that little bit of taper in it. Not that it really matters much. Go around my thread 50-50. Tie down on top. 1 or 2 loose wraps. Now I'm going to take my thumb and mash that so it'll spread out over top of the top. Come on now. tie down over top of it. There we go. Alright. End up doing one last hollow tie on this shank, on this hook, and then I'll start on that shank. So, clean this up a little bit more. Then I'll end up, ow, that did not feel good. Alright, take a little bit of super glue now on that last tie down a bucktail, and then just work all the way around it.
Well, you do good work. I have to go eat now, but I can't wait to get the t-shirt and fly in the mail. Yeah, LOL.
Thanks for watching. Alright, cool. I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. If you got any questions,
yes,
right now would be a perfect time.
Is the flash just on top of the shank?
Yes, it is. I just have it on top of the shank. I've thrown the larger size lateral scale down the sides of it. I haven't seen a huge difference in it, but if you wanted to add flash in the belly, whatever, the whole 360 degrees around the shank of the hook, I wouldn't see why it would hurt or not.
Alright, let's see.
Any more? Because it's about done.
Oh, let's see if I missed anything.
No, I'm not super tired.
Would you recommend tying your own flies? Not you, I sent that to Grant. Would you recommend tying your own flies?
What do you mean?
Somebody asked you that. What do you think?
I mean, it definitely feels a whole lot better when you catch a fish on one of your flies that you tied. I would say go ahead and give it a go if you aren't already. It's a ton of fun. It just adds to fly fishing in my opinion.
Now, while that finishes drying, why would you recommend the Nor-vise for a brand new fly tire?
I would recommend the Nor-vise because when you get what's it called? I hope to say traditioned or whatever to like a normal vise like the Thompson Model A or Renzetti or whatever. You have to learn the steps, like the process of like a Nor-vise, where it has the whole 360 degrees rotary function and the locking at every 90 degrees. But if you get the Nor-vise starting off, I would say it's just going to make your tying a whole lot easier.
You don't start with any bad habits.
Yes, as Tim says, bad habits. You don't start with them. Alright, so last hollow tie right here. Gonna do...
Do you follow any other fly tires?
Oh yeah, I follow tons of other fly tires.
Like
Blaine Chocolate,
say it ain't
Grant Alvis.
Oh, that we don't count him. Big name fly tires.
Drew Chacon, the saltwater guy. Gunnar Brammer, Pat Cohen. Let's see who else.
Sven.
Yep, Sven. And just a ton of others. There we go. Just a little bit more bucktail. Just cutting the bucktail straight off the hide. I mean, I started off down here. Now I want it to flare just a little bit more, so I'm starting to work up here now.
The best place to check out tires you follow would probably be your Instagram page.
Yep. There we go. Now I'm just cleaning out all these short hairs in the bucktail. Getting all that cleaned out. There we go. Alright. So end up working onto this next hollow tie actually. There we go. Alright, that should be good. Snip off just a little bit of this, leaving a little bit left. Get that out of the way. Alright, so cord up my thread just a little bit more. That's just going to add pressure directly in one spot when you start your hollow tie. 2 loose wraps. Work it around with your thumb just a little bit. Now just apply pressure. A few wraps.
Was the Nor-vise your first vise?
It actually wasn't. I started off with the Thompson Model A, and then I moved, and then I actually went through
3.
Yep, 3 Thompson Model A's. I actually ended up breaking all of them but one because I wanted to tie these larger flies, and I would end up breaking the jaws with larger hooks or having springs come apart, and just vices totally fall apart after using them a bunch, and it just...
You ended on a Run City Traveler?
Yep, and then I ended up winning a Renzetti Traveler T1 didn't have the cam on the vise, it was just the knob, so it was a little bit difficult. But once I got used to it, it was okay. But then the Norvise just completely changed my tying.
You've been using the Nor-vise since January 2018? 2017? I don't remember.
It was a little bit ago, not super long ago. Alright, so pull back all these hairs.
Mark Coyer says nothing like catching a fish on a fly you tied and a rod you built.
Haven't built a rod yet.
We will not be doing that anytime soon. Until you can afford those materials on your own.
Now work the thread in front. Now all I'm going to do again is just cord up all this thread. That's just going to help build up your mallet pushing back with the bucktail. Now we're just going to build this up. You could use the rotary function on this. I don't have my large jaws in right now.
You got your new spring, why do you not have your large jaws in?
Because I was getting ready to go fishing last night.
You can beat him, Tim.
Hey.
Bob Slinger says he's thinking about getting a Nor-vise. What's the largest hook you can get into it?
If you haven't already... Oh, actually, the shark hooks that I had that were, like, bigger than my hand.
Well,
so, if you haven't already, one of the largest hooks on the market right now is the Arex Blue Water A-Dot.
yeah, move closer to
But I can fit it no problem in the large saltwater jaws. I can actually pick up my granite base that I have on here right now, no problem. And I've had
with the standard jaws or with your large jaws.
Yep, it'll hold. The standard jaws will hold it. It'll wiggle around a little bit, but with the larger saltwater jaws, they have a There's a whole lot more meat to the to the jaws. A whole lot more room or I guess surface area to grip onto that shank, or grip onto that bend. But a lot of vices can't hold this exact hook, being it's such a thick wire, it's such a large sized hook, and the Nor-vise has done it just fine with those larger sized jaws. Like I said, picking up the granite base, no problem. And what was that other hook? I don't even know the name of the hook of it, but it was some mustad, like, giant saltwater hook that I was tying shark flies on it, bigger than my hand, and it was just giant sized hook that fit into the large saltwater jaws. Alright, there we go. So, built that up a good amount. Now I'm going to come in with some more saddles. Let's see. Gonna put 2 more on here. These aren't real big ones actually on there right now. Just gonna strip off a little bit of it. Tie that down.
Only Ed. Ed said that would hurt if it hit you in the nose.
You would know, huh?
Not that big of a hook.
Had that one shark hook fly into my leg while fishing. That sucked.
That was a horrible bruise. Michael Collier says
almost as bad as the one I have now.
Michael Collier said he likes using the large jaws on wide gap and stinger hooks.
Yep. I'll use the standard jaws for, I would say, probably hooks up to a 4 to 5/0. What? And the saltwater jaws for hooks larger than like 5/0. But the fine point jaws, for like my rear hooks for a lot of my game changers, it holds it just fine too for just that one hook. Heard it. And then throw in a little bit more flash. Gonna load it up on flash for this last tie-in. There we go. Mix it up just a little bit, just to get it all together. Pull out a few strands. There we go. Alright. Half and half over top. Couple loose wraps, and then use my thumb to push over the top.
Okay, let me see. Bob's replying. Holy, I missed a lot. Sorry, I'm falling behind. Should have put a little focus on myself.
There we go.
What rod and line do you use to throw these huge flies? Ed Fairchild must not have caught that earlier, so go ahead and tell everybody once again.
Alright, 1 second. Alright, half hitch your whip finish at the very end there. Snip off your thread. So, for these larger flies, like these large poppers, Scientific Angler actually makes a saltwater line, or it's called the Scientific Angler's Big Water Taper. It's a really large floating line that has a super big head on it. It turns over these really large flies super easily, like top waters that is. And if I was fishing like a large game changer, or the large subsurface or sinking fly, I'll use a Scientific Angler's Sonar Titan line from, I would say, probably, if they're this size subsurface or anything like that, a 12 weight or a 11 weight. That's the sinking line that I would use for like a big if I was dredging for wrecks. Let's see, I want to say it's 700 grains, so it's gonna get down quick, and you're just dredging with like these the Temple Fork Outfitters, their Blue Water series, the baby blue water for smaller flies, for like large flies but small for their category. And then medium size, like the LD, the Blue Water LD, and then forgot the other Blue Water. Then there's just the Blue Water series. All right.
Okay, let's see. All right, before you go back, hold on.
I'm just putting glue on. All right, so a little bit of glue.
What is the difference between a reverse tie and a hollow tie, or are they both the same?
So they are different. A reverse tie, I'll show you here in a second on this next shank. Give that a second to dry. Actually, I'll just take a whole another hook into it.
Mike says he has not used his Norvise in a while. These videos have got me thinking of pulling it back out. Get to it, Mike.
Yep. It's good to hear, though. Alright. So, for a hook, I'll just use this one right there. So, this isn't for this fly, but this is just to show the difference between a reverse tie and a hollow tie. For a reverse tie, just get this thread started.
See, Roger says, any young man who can cast a 700 grain line should be in my boat fishing for muskie. Steve, you can have him anytime for muskie fishing.
I would love to come up for some muskies.
I have been when it's 28 degrees, and I don't have
There we go.
do not want to go again.
Alright, so for a reverse tie, just get some bucktail real quick. It's similar to a hollow tie, but not quite. Cord up this thread a little bit. Same thing, just gonna get ready for that hollow tie. Alright, got your buttons, trim up your buttons a little bit. So, just like your hollow tie, getting ready for it. And then all you're gonna do, for the reverse ties and hollow ties, a tool is super easy for it. This is a tool made by a family member of Grant Alvis, who's a Nor-vise ambassador. So just like your hollow ties, I'll use it without the tool like I was earlier. Push back all these hairs, stroke them back with your hands, hold it back. So instead of doing the thread dam to hold back the hairs, all you're doing is tying over the hairs. So you don't get any bulk. You get bulk, that's for sure. You get bulk, no problem. But you can't get the profile that you would like you can change the volume, I guess, of like a hollow tie. You can have it at a 45, you can make it closer in, you can make it wider, and you can just change the I guess you could say, what's it called, the profile with a hollow tie, a whole lot easier. You might use up a little bit more thread, but I would say it's totally worth it. Where this is a little bit quicker, and like for your double deceivers and all, this is what you use for them. So tie that off and get back to the fly. Alright.
Come to Canada with Braden to fish muskie. We will put you up in our house and take care of both of you. Oh, thank you.
I would love to come up.
Braden, for that, I will have Braden could tie you the what's it called? Fully dressed game changer.
Oh yeah.
And then some.
There it is.
Okay, let's see.
Alright, so I'm gonna swap out these standard jaws real quick.
It says thank you for the clarification on
swap them
reverse
out.
tie and hollow tie.
Just like that, super quick. Alright. So this fly has a shank for the head. That's what you're doing. You're tying a hollow tie on there. And I'm going to take a 40mm Flyman big game shank, clip that to the eye of that 6/0 SL12S. Alright. They may be fine point jaws for midges and use them for smaller game changer shanks and all, but they hold this thing just fine. Alright. Start your thread. You want to close up these shanks.
Say hi to Trisha, Dad's cousin, and her boys, especially Bo. Bo's going to be getting a vise and a fly tying kit this week.
Awesome. Hey, Trisha.
And the boys.
Oh, and the boys. Sorry. Alright. Work this thread up just a little bit. Get a good thread base because you're going to need it to grip that popper head. Just make sure these shanks are all closed up. And then I'm going to slide this popper head on right now, just to get a idea of where it's going to end up. It's about right there. So now that I've got an idea of where the popper head's going to end at, I'm just going to build a thread bump so I can see where I need to stop at. So now that I've got all this shank to work with, instead of just having this little amount behind that popper head, where I might be able to get one hollow tie in, I'm gonna work back onto this shank where it's got the gap. Just gotta use tight thread wraps. When I'm tying these larger flies, I really use a ton of thread pressure just to make sure nothing's going to come loose or pop out. Alright, there we go.
Corey Ruth's on.
Hey, Mr. Ruth. Alright, so last one was orange. Back to the chartreuse for this tail.
Okay, let's
Gonna do
I
right
have to go back.
there. There we go. Take a good amount.
Alright, hold on 1 second. Okay. This kit is good. How many jaws are sold with the system? With the Nor-vise system?
When you buy the Norvise, I believe just the standard jaws.
Which is what you're using now.
Nope, these are
No?
the fine point jaws.
Oh, I couldn't see it. Sorry. Wow.
But here's the standard jaws right there. Those are the other fine point jaws that I swapped out the things with because those were.
I was typing. Sorry.
Yep. So here's the standard jaws. They hold just about. I would say. I mean, I've seen people tying nymphs with them and dry flies. I've tied up to a 6/0 on them. They will comfortably hold a 5/0, no problem. But the standard jaws and these fine point jaws are my most used for game changer shanks and so on.
Okay, Tim. Tim posted that. A lot of that. That's good. Who makes your popper head that you are going to be using?
This is the Rainey's Big Eye popping head. I haven't been able to find it anywhere other than at my local shop. But I'll find it later. Flyman's double barrel popper heads, I want to say it's the extra large version. I mean, it's basically the same thing, just this one's all painted up and pretty, and it's got big flashy eyes on it, a little bit of sparkle on it, but essentially it's the same thing, just that one's made out of foam. This one just has a like a epoxy lacquer coating on it, whatever you want to call it. Alright, hollow tie this, so snip off a good amount. Cord up your thread a little bit. Right.
Michael said, Marie says, gotta go. If you can't wait to see the finished popper, it will be on YouTube midweek.
Yep.
They can't really probably hear me completely, so.
This Facebook Live will be on. What? There we go. Do this hollow tie.
Corey said, word. Stephen Dallas said, those are some nice bucktails. Any idea where those came from?
These specific ones came from Brad Bowen that we ordered off of Facebook.
Oh, okay, I remember those.
Mm-hmm. But Brad Buzzy has some good tails if you can get a hold of them from him. And then
if you ever see him at a show, you better get those at the beginning.
Yep. His extra selects are primo.
Michael St. Marie said he gotta go.
Hollow tie this. Bring the thread in front.
Matthew Nielsen.
Start building your thread down.
Matthew Nielsen says you have a new follower.
Awesome, thank you. Build up thread down. Try to get all this hair back out of the way.
I think I messed up again. Somebody said they loved your hat, but I had to refresh my page.
Oh. There we go. There we go. Alright. Just gonna build up this little thread down here.
Jason Goodall said he loves your hat.
Thank you for that comment.
Corey Ruth said, ever try the Flyman howitzer head?
I've got a few howitzer heads that I've thrown on Game Changers before, and I love them. But I actually do need to tie with them a little bit more. I recently just did a couple bass poppers for like a small river near me with them. Those and the double barrel popper heads. I mean.
How do you like your Norvise?
I actually love my Nor-vise. It's my favorite vise I've ever used.
This trout has two. He has one packed in a travel bag, ready to go anytime he goes out of town. Do you use real feathers?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Yep, these are the, I don't know specifically where we got these, but they're just Chartreuse dyed grizzly saddles.
I want to say those came from Small Fly. Because I couldn't get the full
Either them or
Chartreuse.
Buzzy.
I don't
One
know.
of the two.
I buy so many feathers, I couldn't tell you where they all come from these days.
I normally just get the hen saddles from Spawn. Alright, so I'm just looking for some short and fat feathers for this one right now. Like, find them. 1 second.
Trying to trip me up right here.
Something like that.
Okay.
There we go.
Mike Chavez, I've always wondered how they do this. Thank you for doing this.
There we go.
Did you even hear what I said?
What was
you
that?
tuning me out?
I was looking for the feathers, sorry.
Mike Chavez said he's always wondered how they do this. Thank you for doing this tonight.
Oh, no problem, Mr. Chavez.
And let's see. Never used a Nor-vise. He's used a
Couple feathers
Brian
on
Sanders says
each
he's
side.
used a Renzetti and Royals. He would like this. Have you tied Blaine chocolates tubing for your musky fly?
Mm-hmm.
We got every material Blaine chocolates ever made.
Pretty much. Yep. There we go. One feather on each side. Go. A little bit more flash.
Nothing, you know, I can't do but so much at one time. I'm reading a text and typing at the same time.
Alright, a little bit of a lateral scale, and then the Flashabou Mirage. Mix those together. Go. Taper them a bit. Double them over.
And said from a bird, duh.
Who did?
Ed.
Oh. And then kind of just throw that over top.
David Haney Jr. said, I love using the tubing. It moves a ton of water.
Oh, yes sir, most definitely.
Thank you for your second comment because I was trying to figure that one out.
Tied a couple T-bones with it. Alright, let's see. And we're gonna do one more hollow tie. Just gonna have to squeeze it in here. Alright, we did Chartreuse. Time for a little bit more orange. There we go. Actually, I might blend them a little bit. Right. Orange. Blend them. Just take out all the shorter hairs in them. Take a little bit of the Chartreuse.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm going back. I'm catching up. Hold on. Okay. Our Barracudas would love an articulated popper, maybe even a Dorado outside the reefs. Thank you for this live session.
Awesome.
If you catch one of those, send it to us. Let's see a picture.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Brian Sanders, need to tie this up and try it for toothy critters in West Virginia. Looking good. Teach a man to tie his own flies and he will be poor the rest of his life. So will somebody's mother. Braden, have you ever fished up near my hometown, Winchester, Virginia? Braden couldn't tell you where Winchester, Virginia is if his life depended on it.
Let's see.
Let's see if your daddy knows that answer.
Alright, a little bit of this. Just the last hollow tie. This is where I took Chartreuse Bucktail and the orange and just blended them together. All you do is just roll it around in your fingers a little bit and match up the tips.
Love this color pattern. Tim says that we need 4 more shares for a 3rd shirt giveaway, so you might want to go ahead and let everyone know that part again before you finish that section.
Right after this, I will. This is the last section of the flower.
Lexington is right next to Winchester, so yes.
Yep, we have. Alright, let's see.
Oh, Tim just...
Last hollow tie right here. Just gonna... Now we're gonna roll that around the shank.
You're bothering your brother, I swear. What's the hook you're using?
The hook in the rear is a 6/0 Gamakatsu SL12S. I also like the newer Arex blue water hook, the 4/0 or the 6/0.
SL what?
SL12S.
Thank you.
Just clean this up a bit.
About 10 minutes from the West Virginia border, Shenandoah goes right past it. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fish the Shenandoah and everything too.
In the South Fork of the what?
I can't even remember.
Where we went for Thanksgiving.
Holston. Yep.
Yep.
South Fork of the Holston.
Bob and Sinker said you make this look easy.
Thank you.
How far in advance do you start tying for trips?
I've got boxes, game changers, my cardiac arrest fly. I actually trade nymphs for big streamers, which Tim, yes, you will get your flies next weekend.
Oh, you want to put some money on that one with Tim and me?
Yeah, I will.
I would be shocked.
Man, that came out pretty. I have to keep that one.
That is part of your problem.
Yep, pretty much. Just about every fly.
Do you keep a good selection? Oh, you don't even want to see this child's room.
There we go.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough fly boxes for the amount of flies that he has tied, and we have a lot of fly boxes.
There we go. Cool. These last two.
Tim said, "Oh, really?"
He said, "Oh, really?" You watch. You'll be catching smallmouth on the flies that I'll give you.
I don't think any flies have entered that box since last weekend.
I've got a couple laying around that I tied for them. They're just not in there yet. Because I was debating on throwing them for snakehead. But I held myself back. Alright, one on each side. Same thing like all the others, but just about a 45-degree angle. We're just right at the end for this popper head too.
No such thing as too many flies. Oh, yes, there is if you're 14 years old and live at this house. Because there are so many flies out, I can't even let my little kids up here.
Nope.
So happy to see this. Yo, buddy, tight lines. That was Amanda Davis.
A little bit more
Adam,
flash.
who taught you how to tie, or did you just pick it up one day? Oh, gracious. You learned what?
I learned to tie pretty much off of Facebook and Instagram. and then YouTube, or no, not Facebook, but Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. I just said that again. Getting focused on the fly. Alright. Bunch of strands of this lateral scale.
What is your choice of box while fishing?
I've really been liking the tacky fly box. What's that one? Their Predator box. And then the what's that one?
This one right here?
Yep.
This one that says fill me up?
Yep. And then I've got a what's that? Can't even think of the name now. Crap.
Watch your mouth.
I'm just trying to think of the name of the box. Whatever. It's
What?
around here. That big, the giant yellow one.
Right there. This?
Nope. Yep, that one.
Cliff's Bugger Beast.
Yep, the Cliff's Bugger Beast box, which it'll hold a bunch of my larger flies.
You
And
can show them at the end.
a really good fly box is also just a gallon baggie.
You learned that from who?
Blaine. Alright, just gonna cord up this thread so I can build up the body a little bit quicker. So this popper head will have thread to grip on once I glue it down. Just take a bit of your time just to get the thread in there.
Okay, I have to catch up. Oh, look, William Miller doing it again.
Test it out. Just about perfect.
Sounds like you're getting ready to have a talk next weekend behind a barn.
From?
Well, if it's next weekend, who do you think?
Tim.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said we never had Instagram or Facebook while growing up. Me either. I just have to dial into AOL.
Alright. Dang it, freaking hurts. The braid cut from the snakehead earlier.
Oh, wow.
Alright. Half hitch or whip finish a couple times and tie that off. Now I'm just gonna put a small drop of this glue where I tied it off, and then I'll get out the Loctite. Just because that glue will end up seeping into the thread to lock up the that knot. This is a new bottle of Loctite gel control. This is probably my most used glue, other than the Solarez Bone Dry and just brushable super glue. Alright.
Oh.
That's all done.
Gracious.
Put a few beads of this Loctite super glue up and down that your thread there. Now make sure your popper head, the caved in side of the head, is facing out. Trust me, don't make that mistake. Now you're gonna make sure all your materials aren't gonna get trapped, and slide this head on. Thing looks like a little peacock bass.
One.
What are you looking for? Oh, Jake just got on.
One time out instead of, oh, Jake just got on, how would you say, hi, Mr. Jake?
Hey, Mr. Jordan, how are you? He's come up for some snakeheads.
He's going to. Okay, I gotta go back. I was replying. I'm not falling down on my job. Let's see.
There we go.
What a pretty fly from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I'm going to take a little bit of, what's it called? Solarez Thin. Just seep it down into the head a little bit.
Would these work for striped bass? Wouldn't you want to know?
Some of the, yeah, for real. For the, I'm sure for a larger striped bass, it would work no problem. But schoolies, it might be pushing size.
Do you ever make your own cork popperheads?
I haven't made my own cork popperheads yet, but I might in the future. Just gonna let that cure for a little bit. Alright. Any questions on that whole part, or the whole fly actually? Because there's the finished fly. Oh, forgot to add. If you wanted to, you could add a collar of this filler flash or whatever, like a frizzy flash behind the head, like this one. If you wanted to, just something that you can add. I just ended up doing another hollow tie, but
take this kid GT fishing.
I would love to.
I take him everywhere.
Who said that?
Nick Vital, I guess. I'm gonna right there.
Yes, I would love to go GT fishing.
Yeah.
One of my dream destinations, the Seychelles.
When I can get on a plane that I don't have to wear a mask and we'll go somewhere.
Yep. Thank you.
Here you go.
Jake said, "Save your wine cork, Casey."
Save my what?
Your wine corks, Casey.
We are not going to be making anything. Terry Landy,
Make shark poppers.
I'm sure that would be good for striped bass. They eat pretty big stuff. That's awesome. That's a beautiful fly. I'm catching up. I'm like, nice fly.
Put this back in the vise.
What would your price be on that if you sold it?
This specific one, if it was dressed up this much, I mean, I can do it with less hackle, less bucktail, less everything, and whatever color that you wanted, honestly. But for this one, I would have to, honestly, I would have to look at the hook cost and the popper head cost and everything else. But other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I'd have to look at the cost of all the other materials of art.
He would have to look at the cost. Tim can probably answer that one because that's who we go to.
Yep.
I don't remember what you sold those for at the show.
I forgot. We have it written down somewhere.
Downstairs. Tell him I'll reply to him when I find my book downstairs.
We will, once we go downstairs and check out, because every fly that we sell, we have it written down with the price and all that we sold it and the name. So, once this gets done with, we will go down there and get the price and the fly for you and message you.
Jake Jordan says, sailfish.
Okay.
I was looking into his passport, Jake.
I'd be okay with that.
Larry said another great job. Oh, there's your fly boxes if you wanted to show them.
Yep.
Great job.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, look. This is how they normally end up after a couple of days.
That's because you're unorganized.
Here, look. Tim can have that one.
I'm gonna beat you.
No, that's a good one. I was fishing that one for
snakehead.
snakehead. So, I got too many flies laying in it now.
Just hold it up.
I can't. They're gonna fall out.
Sorry
about
we had
that.
an Oregon FaceTime coming in.
This is the Cliffs Bugger Beast box. But
yes, go.
Yep, it's just it's just a super large boat box. It holds a bunch of game changers. This one's actually pretty empty right now because they weren't all hooked in it, and I threw them on the floor. Then this is the Tacky Predator box right there. It's also really nice. Just you don't get the height as you would with like a boat box. But those are the main boxes that I carry around. Or if it's a fly like this and I don't have any room in either box or whatever, I'll just throw them in a gallon baggie.
Cliff box or great box. I've got a few.
Yep, love that one.
What would you use this fly for?
This fly, well, Jake Jordan, he just said sailfish. A couple others have said big largemouth bass. another person said striped bass. I would see no reason why a large pike or a muskie wouldn't come out and try to take a bite at this. I've had barracuda eat it, try to eat it, chase it. I've had amberjack right up to the boat, followed up, try to eat it, and yep. I mean, just large predator popper. I just said that.
Okay, I wasn't listening. I was reading.
I know.
Let's see. Nice. I will tie some to use here on the bay. Thanks.
Awesome.
You can let everybody know this will be posted on the Facebook page.
Yep. So this fly will be this, not this fly, but the whole Facebook Live will be posted on the Norvise YouTube page, and as well with all the other lives that we have up there.
Oh dear Lord.
What's that? Grant?
Nor-vise says, which would
Oh,
be Tim.
Citation fall fish, no problem. I mean, they love hitting the tuna poppers. I see all the conventional guys popping them up with GT poppers. I mean, it's just...
Y'all are just full of yourselves tonight.
I mean, it imitates a peacock bass. They would love it.
Mike said he would definitely throw that at some...
Big pike and muskie.
Mm-hmm. Next week, who's coming to be on next week live? It's right there.
I saw it. Yep.
Okay.
Tom Weir. Next week's Facebook Live, Tom Weir's going to be on here. Trout Sniffer for Instagram. For those yet follow him, or our Instagram, and might want to follow him. But again, Tom Weir will be tying tomorrow or next weekend.
Next Sunday.
Yep, next Sunday.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Jake said Dorado.
And Tim said that was not him. It must have been Tyler.
No.
All right. Let's see. Great job, Braden.
Thank you, Jake.
Is this the auction for the 89 citation? I'm lost from that one.
Probably the citation fall fish. Got him with that.
All right. Let's see if there's any. Ask again if there's any questions.
Yep. Any more questions for the popper, or tying with it, the materials, or anything of that matter?
We will go through. Tell everybody we will go through all of the shares.
Yep. So once this Facebook Live is done, and if you have any more questions afterwards or whatever, we'll go through and we will answer any of the questions or stuff we may have missed.
Bill Cody said, I don't even fish and enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Ed, nice job. And what I was really meaning was we will go through all of the shares and everything with Tim. And
here, how about you tell him that, because I'll forget that.
Well, I'm not getting on camera.
You can speak up.
We will go through everyone that has shared this tonight, and Norvise has some system for choosing a contest winner that way. And we will post in here and let the winners know. I don't even know off the top of my head how many times this was shared tonight. Tim, do you?
Over 300.
Well, that was people.
I know. I think we hit over 300.
I have no idea.
Three
Kit
shirts.
Brown just came on. Hi, Kit.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
This will be posted on Facebook shortly, and then YouTube by the middle of the week.
Yep. All right, and a few more minutes,
I hate
and then
internet with 200 people still watching.
Yeah.
But he has no more material laid out for tonight.
Yep, this is the only fly I've got for tonight. Till next time, I guess. So.
You'll be back on in August.
Oh no, you said how much for the couch?
Couch.
Nothing. Just don't even.
I'm lost.
Stop. Don't engage it.
170 times it was shared. Somebody said
Tie another.
Grant's
back. I think you brought friends.
John McMahon said, "Great work, Braden. He can store your flies anytime you want."
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
I don't think he would even know if any were missing. Sure. Any questions? Anything else you want to talk about?
When do I go next?
August.
So, August I'll be back on. So
let's see. I
Yep.
will tell you what day. Facebook. August the 16th. So almost exactly close to
Yep.
a month from now.
So almost a month from now, I'll be back on tying. I'll still have to figure out what I'm going to tie, but yep, I'll be ready for that. Hopefully, I'll be awake like this time too. I will.
There's no hopefully.
I just said there will. Yep. All right. Well,
Thank everybody. I mean,
thank you everyone for coming through and watching this Facebook Live.
And 170 people shared, so thank you for sharing that.
Yep. Thank you everyone for sharing, and we will go through, check out all the shares. Make sure you get your shirt and the fly. Again, next weekend, next off. All right. So if you didn't catch that, next Sunday, Tom Weir, Trout Sniffer on Instagram. Tom Weir is going to be on for Norvise Live Facebook tying. So again, thank you everyone for watching, and have a great night.